The Law and You, a look at laws in St. Vincent and the Grenadines which affect our daily lives. The Law and You, presented by lawyer panel P.R Campbell QC and brought to you on SVG-TV as a public service.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, greetings. Welcome to another presentation in this public service nation-building series, The Law and You. This is program number 953, coming to you on Monday, the 11th of November, 2019. On this program, I will speak to you on the topic $20 versus $3,000 plus. $20 versus $3,000 plus. But before getting into that topic, a few preliminary remarks, which are rather important. First, and as usual, I would like to issue my condolences to all families which have suffered recent bereavements. And as I hadn't got a chance to do so previously, let me send greetings to the Honorable Dr. Godwin Friday on the loss of his mother. Second preliminary. On Thursday of this week, a march and rally have been planned by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Christian Coalition to take place from about 11 a.m. Thursday morning from two venues. One march will begin at the area of the bus stop at the Girls' High School, popularly known as Mahogany Square, and they will march to the courthouse. Another march will begin at the area of Little Tokyo. They will go to Bottom Town, up Back Street, and they will meet up at the courthouse, where I understand prayers will be said, and then the combined marches will be journeying to Heritage Square for a rally. I believe there may be speeches and prayers and admonitions. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Christian Coalition is a body of 10 denominations, 10 churches, including members of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Christian Council, members of the Spiritual Baptist Fraternity, members of the Pentecostal and Evangelical Associations, and members of the Seventh-day Adventists, and others. I have been specifically requested by our Archbishop, His Eminence, the Most Reverend Cosmo Pompey, Melford Cosmo Pompey, to give him his full due, to issue an invitation to all spiritual Baptists who belong to the Spiritual Baptist Archdiocese. And I do believe that in as much as there are going to be other spiritual Baptist bodies there present, the Christian Spiritual Baptist Organization, Mount Halliwell Church of the Epiphany, St. Joseph Spiritual Baptist Archdiocese, and so on, all spiritual Baptists are invited to come to Kingstown on Thursday morning to take part in the proceedings. The general purpose of the march and rally would be a call to righteousness, triggered by the attack by two persons on the existing laws relating to buggery and indecent assault. As most persons would know by now, those laws have been challenged by two persons who claim that those laws violate the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Constitution and they should be removed from the law books. Of course, they have been on the law books for a very long time. They are not laws passed by any government within recent memory. Not by Joshua, not by Cato, not by Mitchell, not by Gonsalves. I do believe that on the program of encounter which came on this television station immediately before I came on the air, that a lot would have been said about the planned proceedings on Thursday. My responsibility is to encourage all persons, especially those who profess Christianity, to lend your support and demonstrate where you stand on these very important issues. And on a personal note, I would like to advise my clients that my chambers, P.R Campbell Company, will be closed at 10:30 Thursday morning for the rest of the day. There are some matters that we have to attend to Thursday morning, and we'll go in for those. But from 10:30, my chambers will be closed so that members of my staff, the clerical staff, and the lawyers in my chambers would have the opportunity to take part in the march and rally. I would not leave the topic without making a further statement. On Wednesday, the 13th, there will be the first substantive hearing of the challenges in the High Court, because the Christian coalition, the 10 religious bodies who have got together, have applied to the judge to be joined in the proceedings. In other words, they have filed papers asking the judge to allow them to take part in the hearing of the proceedings. I understand, however, that the claimants who have challenged the buggery laws and the gross indecency laws have filed papers opposing the churches. In other words, the challengers have asked the court not to allow the churches to take part by their lawyers in the proceedings before the court. So the application to be heard and the opposition to that application will be dealt with on Wednesday. If you happen to go to the court as a member of the gallery to listen to the proceedings on Wednesday, I am appealing to you to treat the court with respect. You are not permitted to clap or show any other signs of participation in the proceedings. You're not permitted to say anything. If you go there, conduct yourself in a dignified manner so as not to disrupt the proceedings. That will be Wednesday. Now, I would expect that after the hearing on Wednesday, the judge may adjourn the case to be heard on another day, because the judge may well want to take time to consider the application and the opposition to the application. So there will come a time when, in all probability, a day would be appointed for the hearing of the real challenge. If the judge agrees to allow the churches to take part, then the church's lawyers would then have papers to file. If the judge says that the churches cannot take part, well then, the case would go ahead without the participation of the churches. When I say participation of the churches, I don't mean the churches and the bishops and pastors would get up to talk. They will be represented by their lawyers if they are allowed to participate. I would just say in passing that when similar challenges were brought in Belize and Trinidad, religious bodies were allowed to take part in the argument before the court. But the challengers have come here and have said they oppose the religious bodies having anything to say in the case. That decision will be for the judge. All right? Now, I have taken up quite a lot of the time for this program, but the topic I have chosen is not going to be a lengthy one. And I would like to get on to the topic as soon as I have hydrated myself. Excuse me. Now, I am sure those of you who heard me announce the topic would be wondering what on earth could Mr. Campbell have meant by a topic of that nature. $20 versus $3,000 plus. let me end the mystery. There is a particular procedure available in the registry of the High Court to relevant parties, which could either cost them $20 if they adopt the procedure at the right time, or if they wait until it is too late, then it will cost them more than $3,000. And that procedure has to do with putting the name of the father on the birth certificate of a child born out of wedlock. In days gone by, if a child was born to a man and woman who are not married, the law did not allow that man's name to be placed on the birth paper. It couldn't be done. So, in days gone by, that child would go through life with just the mother's name on the birth certificate, along, of course, with the child's name. But thanks to an Attorney General by the name of Mr. Arthur Williams, now deceased, that law was changed in the year 1980 by the Status of Children Act. And we must always be thankful to our deceased brother Arthur Williams for that enlightened piece of legislation. In 1980, Arthur Williams, as Attorney General for the Milton Cato government, went to Parliament and passed a law, among other things, permitting a man's name to be registered as the father on the birth certificate of a child born to a woman to whom that father was not married. And so it is up to today. A man and woman are not married, they have a child or children. For $20, they can go to the courthouse, and in a moment I will tell you which courthouse, pay a $20 fee, and have the father's name, the man's name, inscribed on that birth certificate as the father of that child. $20, that is all it takes. Used to be $10, but it's gone up. Well, $10.30. It's gone up a little bit. So, if there is anyone listening to me who is the child of a man and woman who are still alive, and whose father's name is not on his or her birth certificate, you can invite your parents to rectify matters and get your father's name on your birth paper. All your father and mother have to do is to take their ID cards one morning on a working day, and go to the courthouse and say, well, first of all, they have to take out your birth certificate. That is the one without the father's name. They go with that and they say, we would like this man's name to be put on as the father of this child. The man has to swear, they would ask him questions, he has to swear a declaration, and the mother also has to swear. They both have to swear that that particular man is the father of that particular child. Pay their $20 and have the father's name inscribed on the birth certificate. If father and mother are still alive. However, if one of them has died, that is either your mother or your father, or both of them have died, then you have to go through the long procedure, which will cost you more than $3,000. And I have quoted the $3,000. I have taken it straight from the Bar Association list of fees that lawyers are permitted to charge for performing certain services. And on that scale of fees, declaration of paternity, if the mother is dead, the legal fees begin at $4,000. But a regular one where the father is dead, then the fee is $3,000. Therefore, those persons who were born out of wedlock and whose parents have not subsequently got married to each other, and who are going around with just the mother's name on their birth certificate, if father and mother are alive and are willing, of course, they have to be willing to go to the courthouse. For $20, you can have your father's name put on your birth paper. $20. But if you wait till the father dies, it will cost you at least $3,000, and that is just the legal fee. Now, of course, you're not bound to use a lawyer. If you know the law and you know the procedure, you can do it yourself. But the fee I'm quoting you here is the one that the lawyers are using courtesy of the Bar Association. In most cases, if you wait till father has died or mother has died, you have to place an advertisement in a newspaper. You have to pay filing fees. You have to go to court because only the court, only the judge can authorize the insertion of a father's name in a birth paper after the father has died naturally. If the man is dead, then he's not around to give consent to putting his name on your birth paper. But if you satisfy the court by evidence satisfactory to the court that that person was your father, that he acknowledged you as his child during his lifetime, he used to look after you, he used to help mind you, you call him daddy and he call you son, or Then if your evidence is satisfactory, then the judge has the authority to authorize his name to be put there. So the moral of that is that don't wait until one of your parents has died. If that has happened already, well, there's nothing you could do about that. But if death has not yet stepped in, don't wait. You have a birth certificate, your mother's name is on it, your father's name is not on it, your father is alive, and in St. Vincent, encourage them to go to the courthouse with you. It just take about an hour. With the ID cards, to swear the declaration, statutory declaration, that this man is the father, your father, and the procedure is very simple. After that, you get a birth certificate, mother's name, father's name. I promise to tell you where do you go for that. Now, we have 3 courthouses in St. Vincent right now. One is the traditional courthouse. Downstairs, the House of Assembly. The second one is upstairs, the Couriers building, upstairs, the Courier City Store. So it's not the traditional courthouse. It's not the one upstairs, the City Store. The third courthouse is the one opposite the licensing department, opposite the Inland Revenue Department. Diagonally across from Singer. That's where you go. So for $20, you can have done a procedure which, if you wait until it is too late, will cost you more than $3,000. What makes more sense? To do it now, or to say, well, you're going to do it next year. You don't know where death will step in. And you don't need a lawyer for that. Just both of your mother and father with your ID card or passport if the ID card is not available. You go there and you say, look, we are the parents of this child and so on with the birth certificate, and we have come to put the father's name on it. Bam, bam, bam. You take the oath. You swear that you are the father. No, you can't. You can't try to trick them and carry the wrong person as your father, you know. You get into plenty of trouble if you do that. Make sure that the person who goes and says, I am the father of this child, make sure that that is the real father. Okay? So, $20 versus $3,000 plus. Which makes more sense? The $20. No big mystery. No big hassle. Just do it. Especially where mother and father have a lot of children between them and they're not married, and the father's name is not on their birth paper. Because you will discover that if the father dies without getting married to the mother, they have to go through an expensive procedure to prove that they are his children in order to inherit something from him if he dies without making a will. If he makes a will, then he is free to give away what he wants to whom. But if he doesn't make a will and he dies, you can't say, well, it was my daddy. Yeah, well, show me his name on your birth paper. And if his name is not on your birth paper, you can't say it was your daddy. You have to go and get a declaration of paternity and pay your $3,000 plus and then come. So, do it now. Well, I hope I've been of some assistance to you. To recap, the march and rally Thursday morning, beginning at 11 o'clock, Girls High School, Little Tokyo, meeting up at the courthouse, then to Heritage Square to discuss Christian principles affecting buggery and gross indecency. All right? So and dress code is white. You wear a white t-shirt. Well, I'm never comfortable wearing t-shirts in public because I'm not really built with the physique that makes that an attractive proposition. So I'll be wearing a normal white shirt. But you're advised to wear t-shirt or at least a white top with no markings. It's not a political rally. No markings, just a plain white t-shirt or other white apparel at the top. Okay? I hope there will be a good response to the appeal. Well, that is all from this program of the Law and You, program number 953. I look forward to being of further service to you next week, Monday, DV, for another presentation in this public service nation-building series, The Law and You. Do have a pleasant week, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls. Let us hope there will be a successful march and rally, and may the good Lord continue to bless us all.
The Law and You, a look at laws in St. Vincent and the Grenadines which affect our daily lives. The Law and You, presented by lawyer panel P.R Campbell QC and brought to you on SVG-TV as a public service.